Anytime you stand up, you're going somewhere because folk can't ride your back unless it's bent. When you stand up with a grace and a dignity that allows you to treat other brothers and sisters of all colors by accenting their humanity. And I know there's a lot of talk these days about being colorblind. And I understand the effort of being colorblind, because there's something about getting beyond color, no doubt. People say with Barack Obama, our dear brother, people are colorblind. I say, well, I come from a tradition that says we ought to be love-struck, not colorblind. There's a difference. Colorblind erases your color and your culture and your history. When you're love-struck, you affirm the humanity of the others and you affirm their color and history. Nothing wrong with whiteness. White supremacy is the problem. Nothing wrong with being a woman. Male supremacy is the problem. And somebody who goes around falling in love with folk and saying they colorblind and genderblind, falling in love with a platonic form. There's no corporeality there. There's no particularity there. There's no materiality there. There's no bodies there. There's no souls there. It's just an abstract principle. I'm in love with black folk in the abstract. What about Jamal? Well, what about Letitia? Well, I don't want to get too close. I said I love black folk in the abstract. Is that good enough? And it cuts the other way too. Emmett Till's mother was first to say, white human beings choose to be more or less human. It's a human thing. There's a rich history of white brothers and sisters resisting white supremacy. It just makes the Thanksgiving dinners a bit more challenging because they got a lot of cousins. But it's a choice you make. Black people themselves can choose to hate white people. This is one of the great gifts that black people have for the world. I was just in Cairo, Egypt, just a couple of months ago. Big conference on terrorism. Brother raised the question, Brother West, we know that you've had a new experience of terrorism since 9/11. What do black folk have to say? I thought, wait a minute, terrorism is not alien to the American experience. Black folk have been terrorized for 400 years. What you talking about? 9/11, the first time in the history of the nation, all Americans feel unsafe, unprotected, subject to random violence, and hated. Oh, no, but it would be black in America. Unsafe, unprotected, subject to random violence, hated 400 years. It's not new. Emmett Till's mother was resisting American terrorism. And what was her response? Love, justice, unarmed truth. I'm going to tell the truth about it. And the condition of truth is to allow justice to speak. And justice is what love looks like in public. So when you really love folk, you can't stand them being treated unfairly and unjustly. That's what motivates you. And what has been the major response of black people to American terrorism for 400 years? Keep dishing out. Here's Martin King, love ethic. Here's James Baldwin. Essays you all read Fire Next Time, right? Nobody knows my name, no name in the street. Shot through with a love ethic. Love forces us to take off the mask we fear we cannot live without, but no, we cannot live within. That's James Baldwin. Here comes John Coltrane, a love supreme. Here comes Marvin Gaye, spring 1971. Love, 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 what's going on? Here comes Stevie Wonder, genius at 23, 24, songs in the key of life, love in need of love. We can go on. Ray Charles, R. Kelly stepping in the need of. We know he got problems. That Negro still stepping in need of, in the name of love. Toni Morrison. Today is her birthday. I just called her last night. You all know Toni Morrison, one of the greatest living novelists in the world. What is her greatest novel? Beloved. A love so thick that you would rather kill your precious baby than to have your baby undergo abuse given the circumstances of civic death in Ohio. What does it mean to be a people hated and despised, but at the same time dish out such high standards of love? When I told the folk in Egypt, you can learn a lot from black people because after 400 years of being terrorized, we decided not to form any black Al-Qaeda. We decided to not opt for counterterrorism. We decided to have nothing to do with that bigotry coming at us when we dish out our leaders. They said, oh, Brother West, what about Mr. Louis Farrakhan? Well, he talks like he wants to do something. Nation of Islam hadn't harmed one white brother. They said some things that need to be critically examined Socratically and sometimes called into question. No doubt about that. But that's not the Ku Klux Klan. Hanging black folk from trees, that's different. That's different. Black Panther Party, the police and the police. Self-defense. It's very different. What is it about these particular people? We know black people have no monopoly on truth, goodness, or beauty. But we've had folk to speak the truth. And we've had some beautiful folk, some in our own families. And we've had some good folk who have something to teach the world, who happen to be in the middle of this grand, precious experiment in democracy called the USA that made due process real in the 14th Amendment, that defined what it is to be a citizen when America had to raise the question of what is the status of these 4.2 million slaves, that went on in the 1960s to say either America hits the issue of race, diversity, whatever you want to call it, head on, or we move in authoritarian ways. Carriers of grand democratic ideals and practices at our best. And now in the last 40 years, we gain entree to corporate spaces. And we produce magnificent folk like you all, creating a multiracial workplace under conditions of cutthroat competition on a global level with these rich histories. And we need moments like this to get a chance to sit and reflect and examine Socratically, prophetically. I began on the Socratic note, let me end on the blue note. Because it's true that you can't talk about black folk without talking about the blues. And that's very real. And in some ways, that's what we're seeing today with Brother Obama. He's a fascinating brother. He's my very dear brother. I've been with him around the country. And I think there's people with integrity on all sides of these various candidates. Because as a Christian, of course, I am highly Socratically inclined toward all political candidates, no matter what color, gender, or what have you. But still, we have to make a choice. Yeah, we got to make a choice. We got to make a choice. No, we got to make a choice now. No doubt. But to be a blues people is to be a people who are prisoners of hope. And what we're seeing